We gave you the champion from this league last year. Let's see if we can do it all again. Well, this is it. We are back and we are here again for another season. It's come round again already, guys. We've had the euphoria of the Euros and the tears at the end. But we're back for this year's prediction videos, starting today with League 2. Got a few fancies to improve this season. Funny enough, my two favourites for top scorers in the National League are now in this division, making transfers recently. More on those two later, but let's get to it to see who will be propping up the Football League this year. Don't forget to leave us a like and tell us your prediction below in the comments. Subscribe so you miss nothing on this channel football related. But let's get straight to it and who we think our fancies are for League 2 in 21-22. Someone's got to finish there, but my prediction for bottom is Scanthorpe United. A lot of first teamers have left this summer, with only more compare Alex Kenyon and Harry Davis coming in, with right back Ross Millen from Kilmarnock. I thought they would struggle last year, and I think it'd be more of the same. Neil Cox has a tough rebuild with not much experience at his disposal thus far, so unless that changes, it's going to be a very long, hard season at Glanford Park. Joining Scunthorpe going down, I've gone for one of the promoted sides. I've gone for Hartlepool United. Dave Challen had done a wonderful job taking up Poolies from last season and has started playing the long game, getting a settled squad on longer contracts. His quotes: the reason behind one solitary signing so far, Accrington fullback Regan Ogle. Lost talisman Reece Oates to League 2 rivals Mansfield. Last year's loans have not returned and gone elsewhere. It's not ideal prep for Challoner. And it's smaller than most squads at the moment. Work is needed to stay up, in my opinion. I don't like normally going for teams that have gone up to go back down from, especially from the National League to League 2, because I think generally they don't do a bad job. But at the moment, I just fancy Hartlepool more than anyone else to go down. No manager, no players, only 60% of wages paid. It's looking very difficult for Swindon fans to be excited about getting back to the ground anytime soon. Players that are there have still been linked away as well, and town fans have been told better news is coming. Well, let's hope so for their sake. There is a guy there who they can build their team around for this level in Brett Pittman. But Swindon fans will be dreading and hoping that they are not the next casualty like Southend to have back-to-back relegations. At the moment, you don't see Swindon other than struggling. But if there is that little bit of good news that's coming, then there's a potential of bringing a couple of bodies in to try and give them the fight. The reason fans are behind, normally that galvanises a team, and they will be backed massively, no doubt, for this level. So, but a season of struggle surely for Swindon next season. Just above Swindon, I've gone for Oldham Athletic. I had them to do quite well last year, and I thought they had plenty of firepower up front. Well, they did. They were the second highest goal scorers in the division, amazingly, and they finished 18th. However, they shipped in a massive 81 goals. Top scorer Conor McElhaney has left, leaving Zach Durnley, Keeler Dunn. It looks like they may lose Bawambula as well, so that's a lot of quality missing from the Oldham side this year. Keith Curle has got a job here to do. Hallam Hope has come in, plus Scunny pair, Jordan Clark and McCahey. Luke Weiler is in the sticks to try and keep the mass amount of goals away this year, and they'll need that to definitely have any chance of climbing that division this year. But I see a bit of a year of struggling for Oldham without being too dangerously close to the edge of going down. Just above Oldham then, I've gone for Crawley. Not much in way of transfers yet for John Yems. Fantastic cup win over Leeds lives on. But with the sale of Max Watters in January, form soon dipped in the back end of the season. Little revival in March meant a mid-table finish. And I would say more of the same again. But obviously, yeah, I'll put them 20 if I get that. Not the same as mid-table. But there's potential there to still be at that same level. Jack Payne has come in, moves back up the Football League again from Eastleigh, but they do have Tom Nichols, Jack Powell to keep them out of trouble potentially. In 19th place, I've gone for newly promoted Saturn United. Won the National League by 4 points, and players that led them up will hope to emulate Barrow and Harrogate to survive this year. Isak Olafi's goals and the brilliant named Harry Beautyman will be key for this to happen. And one player I would have backed for goals at the National League this year and followed his loan with a permanent one to Sutton this summer is Donovan Wilson, who comes in from Bath City. The former Wolves youth, he's on his way back and gives Sutton a great sight of scoring potential. Plenty of goals there, surely. And they've also brought in Ricky Corboa from Northampton, so definitely pedigree up front is quite strong for Sutton. Boldavine steps up from Notts County, as does midfielders Alistair Smith from Altrincham. There's plenty of appearances for the club with the likes of Craig Eastman, Ajiboye, Ben Goodliff and Kenny Davis, and they need the togetherness to ensure survival next season. I think they can manage that down at Saturn United. Wouldn't surprise me to see Stevenage finish a bit higher than this next year. Some gambles that didn't pay off have made way for some new additions. Gone are the duo Effiong and Dinanga, along with a host of others. And Stevenage have a pretty decent back end of the season last year, including a run of 6 games without conceding in the middle of that. Jamie Reid is in from Mansfield, with James Daly also comes in to bolster the attack, permanently transferring from Bristol Rovers. Jake Reeves moves back into the Football League, and Arthur Reed makes his move permanent. Jake Taylor swaps his 6 years at Exeter to move to Broadhall Way, and Alex Revell has no expectations, I don't think, from any of the media or fans to do as well as a lot of other clubs in this division. I think that can ensure that Stevenage can go well and maybe creep under the radar a little bit. But for now, we'll wait and see. How the season pans out to start with, but that's what I've got for 18th at the moment for Stevenage. Barrow next up, 21st last year. Mark Cooper, a month in here now since his Forest Green move, now at Holker Street. Scott Quigley's 14 goals last year. A little bit of talk of him leaving, but he's still there at the moment. Gordon's come in from Walsall, a big signing for them. A slower season last year, but there's plenty of league experience, and he'll be trying to get the goals with fellow new signing ex-Accrington and Crewe frontman Ofrande Zanzala, making the short trip over from Carlisle. Grayson and Tom White have arrived from Blackburn, as well as Zanzala's teammate from last year, Carlisle goalkeeper Paul Farman. Fullback Romero Hutton is in from Birmingham, who made 31 appearances for Stevenage last season. I see an improvement on paper, and I see a lot of that squad moved on as every club tries to balance the books this year. They may have lost Barry Dixon in goal among others, but I think Barrow have got a strong setup, and Mark Cooper definitely knows his way around League Two. So a little bit of an improvement this year, I feel, for Barrow. The next one might surprise a few, but in 16th I've gone for Exeter City. Third highest scorers in League Two last season, missed out on the playoffs still. Matt Jay and Ryan Bowman hit 32 league goals between them last season. The latter has now moved on to League One, as well as the exciting Randall Williams, who's moved up to Hull in the Championship. Some decent players have come in by Matt Taylor's men. Now a new number 1, Scott Brown, is in from Port Vale. George Ray from Tranmere. Sweeney back from Swindon. Giovanni Brown in from Colchester. It'll be down to Joel, Randall and Jay again to spark some lights again at St James's Park. And I just feel like a little bit of a change around needed at Exeter, and I don't see the heights of last season being met at the moment. John Brady has coached through the youth levels at Town and temporarily charge of first team affairs at Sixfields in February. He couldn't steer them to safety as they got relegated from League One. However, he's still got the job permanently. He's acted by bringing in a host of new players. A Kilmarnock trio, Mitch Pinnock, Aaron McGowan and Nicky Kabamba, have come in from the Scottish League. John Guthrie also moves back to England from Livingston. Tranmere pair Nelson and Paul Lewis as well among some. They do have Danny Rose up front, back in the level he scores at. Plus, will we see the promising Caleb Chukwuemeka step forward this season too. Easy for you to say. I think it was going to be a transitional year for Northampton, and John Brady will certainly want to hit the ground running, as Northampton, generally do quite well for League Two level. But I feel like a year of change and a summer of change means that Northampton might have to settle for more of a mid-table finish this season. Don't worry, Newport fans, I generally get your predictions wrong. I thought you'd flirt with relegation last year, but I'm prepared to put you up a little bit higher this year. Playoff heartache last year for Newport, losing to Morecambe in the final. Lost Josh Sheehan to Bolton. Tom King, who came in at the back end of the season, was very impressive. He's moved to Salford. However, former hero has returned. Joe Day returns as number 1 from Cardiff City. Norman and Clark arrived from Walsall. Ed Upson in, Courtney Senior, plenty of established EFL boys here. Another big effort again from Michael Flynn to get those playoffs again. I feel like the heartache from that, and maybe, a little bit of form that dipped towards after a fantastic start. I feel like Newport might have more of a sluggish start this year, but I'm going to go for a mid-table finish from the Welsh outfit this year. Making up the bottom half then, I've gone for Harrogate Town. Said at the start, a couple of players I thought would be in my bet for top scorer in the National League last season. Already mentioned them in terms of Donovan Wilson, who came in for Sutton. Another one is here, and that is Danilo Orsi, who's come in from Maidenhead. I believe he's a very good striker, capable of scoring goals, and he can learn and try and emulate Jack Muldoon's step up into League 2 last year. He'll be fighting hard with other new striker Luke Armstrong, comes in from Salford, on loan at Hartlepool last year, and plenty of ability too, just like his dad showed back in the day. Alex Patterson comes in from Wickham, another decent acquisition. Goalkeeper Mark Oxley and experienced centre-half Rory McCardle. I think Harrogate will give a good go of it this year and definitely improve their last season's finish of 17th. And so the Weavers can be very happy with another year solidating in League 2. Okay, delving into the top half, and we start with Bradford City. Derek Adams hoping for back-to-back promotions after he left Morecambe for the Bantams in the summer. He brought Jan Songo with him to Yorkshire, and Andy Cook made his move permanent. He also brought in Scanthorpe duo Albert Isa and Alex Gilead, who come in. Gilead obviously making a return to the club, the ex-Newcastle man. Not sure I see enough yet for Bradford to be challengers, although they have a top manager for League 2 level, but they certainly strengthen their backline with Kelleher, Threlcold and Liam Ridehow. Youngsters Reece Staunton, Kean Scales will be hoping to showcase more in pre-season. Can they make a push? Fifth favourites at the moment for promotion from League 2, but as things stand at the moment, not for me. Another team I feel will have a transitional year is Rochdale. Dale do have that bunch of players that did so well for them in all the years in League 1. Matty Dunn, Ruthbone, Keohane, Dooley, McNulty, all still there, the core of their side. But no summer arrivals yet, with pre-season kicking on into full speed. It's got to be a concern. But with Robbie Stockdale only just getting his feet under the desk, his guidance and experience from previous roles and managers he's worked with, he'll know he'll need bodies in quickly if Dale are going to challenge this season. A transitional year like the likes of Northampton this year, so Rochdale I have in 11th place. Ramping up close to the playoffs now, and in 10th I have Tranmere Rovers. 3 of the back 4 for Tranmere that started the last time out in the playoffs against Morecambe in May have gone or returned from loan spells, and a rebuild is Mickey Mellon's task, which is a year to return to a previous badge as well. And across the host of new players include Ryan Watson, Tom Davies, Callum Manaman and German Paul Glatzel arriving on loan from Liverpool. James Vaughan's goals will need replacing as he has retired and Woolery has left for Motherwell, so that might be a bit of a work to do at the moment for Tranmere. Pretty decent base, but others preferred for me for the playoff spots. So looking up now into 9th, and I've gone for Salford City. Expensive acquisitions have moved on, didn't quite work out last year, and Gary Bowyer now has a decent budget to refresh some of his squad. Headline for League 2 would be Northern Ireland midfielder Matty Lund, who comes in from Rochdale. He'll be hoping to hit the ground running, and he links up again with Henderson. Conor McElhaney from Oldham, their top scorer, and Liam Shepherd from Newport also headline acts, and Josh Morris will hope to bounce back to goal form since a disappointing spell in the couple of years he had at Fleetwood. Salford have obviously got the potential to go up, and their ambition is to be promoted this season. I just feel others I still prefer, and Salford always seem to flatter to deceive sometimes. The merry-go-round of managers a little bit in the last couple of years kind of puts me off backing them, but they do have a decent team, just others preferred again. So the last step before those playoffs, who's the team just missing out? I've got Forest Green Rovers. The loss of Jamil Matt for a lot of the run-in, I felt, cost them a lot closer push to the automatics, but Forest Green settled for losing playoffs in the end to Newport. They lost Aaron Collins in the close season, but relatively Rob Edwards has kept hold of a well-drilled squad he inherits from Mark Cooper in his first appointed role. Jack Aitchison comes back to the club. He joined in 2019 on loan from Barnsley. Sadou Diallo also comes in. Edwards probably knows him from his time at Wolves in the midfield competition for Forest Green. A settled squad, and it's very rare at this level to find that, so you think they can definitely benefit from that. There's no reason why Forest Green shouldn't or won't push for those playoff places, but just missing out in my predictions. Here we go then, playoff time. First team, Walsall FC. I fancy Walsall this year to do good things. I think Matt Taylor is well thought of in the football world, creating a good base of a squad in his first season as manager. Wasted no time whatsoever in getting bodies in through the door. Connor Wilkinson, Josh Labadie, Manny Month, Zach Mills, Brendan Kiernan all come in, joining them as well. Stephen Ward from Ipswich, who will give great leadership in that dressing room. The two loan deals as well look decent. Kieran Phillips is thought of quite well at Huddersfield and a future player maybe. He arrives on loan, as does Brighton goalkeeper Carl Rushworth. Won't be plain sailing, that's for sure, for Walsall, but expect them to be a lot stronger this year than they have done previously. And I feel like Walsall will definitely have that playoff push this year. I said I wouldn't do it. I said I wouldn't put them in there. But Mansfield Town are my next team. Oh, every year I have Mansfield to do very well, as a lot of people do, and they flatter to deceive every year. I'm sorry, Mansfield fans. I said I wouldn't put you back there again after doing it every year. And I'll keep it short and sweet. Nigel Clough, firepower of Danny Johnson and Ollie Hawkins with Reece Oates. That's a big improvement on the start that they had from last year. Clough have had time to look at the squad of who he will want in the last few months, and I'm backing it to happen this year for the Stags. Playoffs at least. Next up then, into fifth and also missing out on automatics is Carlisle United. I think they'll do pretty well this year. One player Carlisle fans will hope will start the season like he did last year is John Mellish. God, that midfield man got 16 goals in all competitions last year, most before New Year. But Carlisle have been very astute in pre-season. Not a major overhaul. Regulars from last year like Mellish, Tanner, Captain Callum Guy, Alessandra Torre have all stayed, and if they can get what's expected from new signing Zach Clough, that could be an absolutely wonderful key signing. Tristan Abrahams, I also potentially, he's so much better than the 4 goals he got for Newport last year, so I think he could be one to watch as well. For me though, Carlisle are going to be in those playoff places next season. 4 teams left, 1 more playoff place. Who are the team that are just going to miss out? I've got Leighton Orient. Kenny Jackett will be hoping can do his step to League 2. Will return a promotion he failed to gain at Portsmouth in the 3 years he was on the South Coast. It's a big blow losing top scorer Danny Johnson. Angle, Wilkinson, Brophy have always moved on as well, and Jackett has certainly added quality and experience in that dressing room. Darren Prattley was a big surprise coming in for Charlton, and that started the revolution. Omar Beckles, who surely is too strong for this level at the back. Paul Smythe is in for Queen's Park Rangers, who spent last year to start the season on loan at Charlton. Drinnan, Kenny looks a lot from Ipswich, and Harry Smith isn't a bad signing from Northampton either. Bigger things will be expected at London E10, and 2 big games versus Salford and Exeter to start the league off, going to be an interesting season. Surely Jackett will move them forward this year. That first promotion spot goes to Port Vale. 12 players in so far for Darryl Clark. Every position strengthened to go with already a strong first teamers. Nathan Smith, Tom Conlon and Leon Legg already there as the base. New keeper this season was Scott Brown leaving in the shape of Lucas Coverlan and Aidan Stone battling for that number 1. Ryan Johnson is in after impressing so much at Hartlepool last year, and Lewis Cass, who was with Johnson at Hartlepool at Victoria Park, chooses Port Vale for his loan from Newcastle this year. Left back Mal Benning is in from Mansfield, and James Wilson makes his move from Salford, fresh from his best scoring record season. And some good signings here from a club already making progress last year. Darryl Clark seems to be a good fit for Port Vale. Didn't think it looked great for him when he settled into Walsall. But here, there was definitely progress made on the pitch anyway last year and off it, and Port Vale can strengthen this season. The second promoted team and just missing out on the crown I've gone for Colchester United, 20th place last season, Colchester, and big changes were needed by Hayden Mullins this year. You would be forgiven for thinking you were at Ipswich Town match last year, as joining already at the club, Gherkin, Smith, Newball, making his move permanent this year, is coming in as Luke Chambers, Cole Scouse, Freddie Sears and Alan Judge. Granted, Sears was at Colchester before. On top of those, Luke Hannant, fresh from promotion at Cambridge, joins the Revolution as well. And looking at it from the outside, I fail to see why you wouldn't be looking forward to going back to watch football at the Colchester Community Stadium. Alan Judge alone would get me excited if I was a League Two supporter in this division, and so much lining to what Wesley Houlihan did at Cambridge last year is potential enough for me for Colchester to really challenge. I think Hayden Mullins will get it. I think the squad is taking a good shape with people that know each other, and I think Colchester are one to watch next season. Second place for me. I'm pretty sure you'll know, if you're a supporter of this club, that you haven't been mentioned yet, but champions I've got for League Two next year is Bristol Rovers. I really didn't think Joey Barton would be in the helm to take them down, but here we are. And he certainly added a lot of bodies and let a lot go as well. Regular names that you would find in Bristol, Ed Upson, Leahy, have left among 16 others. And Barton reunited with 3 ex-Fleetwood boys as well that he knows very well: Harvey Saunders, Paul Coots and Sam Finley. He's delivered as well into the loan market for Crystal Palace's Sion Spence, Stokes' Connor Taylor and Barnsley's Luke Thomas. But you would say the standout signing would be Harry Anderson. Plenty of clubs in League One were monitored and trying to get Anderson in from Lincoln, but he has stepped to League Two. That's not taken away the good signings also of your likes of Anderton and Aaron Collins too. Both had good seasons in League Two last year, north and south of the border. It's 2 players already at the club I fancy to do well though as well. I always felt Alfie Kilger was better than this level, and Jonah Younger struggled a little bit stepping into the EFL last season from Havant and Waterlooville, but he's a strong striker. He's had a year of it now, and I think he's a great option for the Gas. But Bristol Rovers and Joey Barton are going to win League Two next year. Let's see. So there we go. There's our League Two preview and who we think is going to be where in the table. Relegation for Scunthorpe and Hartlepool, playoffs for Walsall, Mansfield, Carlisle and Leighton Orient, and promotion for Port Vale, Colchester and Bristol Rovers. There's plenty of good sides in this league next year. It gets harder to call every year as well. We picked the champions last year. Can Bristol Rovers rectify that again this year? Let us know in the comments down below who you think will be crowned champions this year, who you think are going to struggle, who you think I've put way too high, and also who you support down below with your predictions as well. Good luck to everybody following this. We'll be back shortly with League One predictions. And until the meantime, stay healthy. Up the footy.